Anyway, so I want to do a little video for you on converting between units of area. Now, I think I spoke to you guys already about this. I think I did it as an extra little bit in one of my lessons where I got a bit carried away. So hopefully it's not brand new to you, but this is your official lesson on it, and then we'll be doing converting between volumes next lesson. Okay, so converting between areas. So I'm going to start off by seeing if we can remember how to convert between units of length. So units of length, usually you will need to know your millimeters, your centimeters, your meters, and your kilometers. Okay, and what you'll see me do is you'll see me do it like this. You'll see how circles, and then you'll see me going with my arrows. Okay, now what we should be able to remember is that there are 10 millimeters in a centimeter. So we're going to either be timesing or dividing by 10 to turn millimeters and centimeters. Centimeters into meters, well, there's 100 centimeters in a meter, so that's 100 and 100. And then for meters to kilometers is 1,000. Those of you that will remember, I talked about how in engineering and any kind of carpentry or any kind of actual real life measuring stuff in the UK, they don't use centimeters. Centimeters are kind of a layman's term, something that we use in our everyday language because centimeters are a nice, easy size for us to be able to recognise visually with the eyes. But they're not particularly nice to work with. The reason why is because turning into millimeters to meters and meters kilometers, it would all jump in 1,000. So all your official units jump in 1,000s. We just like centimeters for because they're nice size-wise visually to work with. Millimeters are very small, meters are very big, centimeters are a nice in-between thing for most things that we're handling. Okay, so we've got the 10, the 100, 1,000. If there was something bigger than 10 than kilometers, then we'd be talking about a million. Another 1,000. I'm talking about something else. Okay, right. So we've got to decide whether we times or whether we divide, going from one to the other. Okay, so if I think about it, 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So if I'm turning from kilometers to meters, one of those is 1,000 of those. So I've got times when I go that one. Excuse me, I've got hiccups. So if I go from meters to centimeters, is 100 meters is 1 meter is 100 centimeters, so that's timesing. So if I'm going this way down on my line, I'm timesing, and the other way I'm dividing. So there's nothing new there. We did a lesson or two on it. Nothing new. What I want to talk about today is areas. Okay, but I need this to be able to then talk about areas. So we're going to start off mainly talking about millimeters and centimeters because they're the easiest thing to imagine. So if I have any way of adding, no, that's not what I wanted. I wondered whether I could add a grid. Yeah, doesn't look like it. Okay, so if I had a square, and this square is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, the area of that square is 1 centimeter squared. Yeah, because the area is just 1 times 1, 1 centimeter squared. If I draw the exact same square, okay, the exact same square, 1 centimeter we know is the same as 10 millimeters. 1 centimeter is the same as 10 millimeters. So what is the area in millimeters? Well, 10 times 10 is 100. So we can say that 1 centimetre squared is the same as 100 millimetres squared. So this one here was for length. Let's write a little title over here, length. We need another one now for area, so I'm going to do it over here. Okay, so area. I might even do it in a different funky pen. So we're going from millimetres squared to centimetres squared to metres squared to kilometres squared. Whee! Okay, so I go that way, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. Hopefully you can recognise, if we divide on the top last time, we divide on the top this time. Times on the bottom. So 1 centimetre squared is the same as 100 millimetres squared. So our number here now is 100. So I'm just going to zoom out so you can see it all in one. So when we had length, it was 10 and 10. Now its area is 100 and 100. So I'm going to do the same thing, but now instead of talking about a centimetre square, I'm going to talk about a metre square. Let's go over here. Okay. So I've now got a square which is 1 metre wide by 1 metre wide. You use these kind of things in biology. You use a metre square, and you use it for sampling. So you get a metre square, you throw it down on the grass somewhere, and then you count how many buttercups are in that square. You do it several times, and then you can estimate how many buttercups are in a field. That kind of thing. You do it with animals, you do it with lots of things like that. Okay? So the area of this is 1 metre by 1 metre, so that is 1 metre squared. If I was to do this now and I was to measure it instead in centimetres, so it's the same square, because 1 metre is the same as 100 centimetres, 1 metre is the same as 100 centimetres. The area now is 100 times 100. So it's 1 with 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. 2, 3, 4 zeros. So that's 10,000 centimetres squared. So if I go back up to here, for my area drawing, we've got 10,000. I've not left myself much room for this. 10,000. Okay. So finally then, let's talk about a kilometre square and a metre square. Hopefully some of you can spot, if I zoom out again, and we compare these two side by side, hopefully you can spot what my number here and here is going to be. But if you can't, I'm going to do it now. Okay, so we've got another square. This time it's 1 kilometre by 1 kilometre. So 1 kilometre by 1 kilometre, the area is 1 kilometre squared. If I have the same square, but this time I'm talking about it in metres, well, a kilometre is 1,000 metres, so that's 1,000 metres by 1,000 metres. So we can see the area is going to be 1,000 metres by 1,000 metres, so times them together, so that's 360, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 metres squared. So that's a million metre squares are inside 1 kilometre squared. Okay, so that's a million there. Oh, I haven't put enough zeros in, sorry. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there we go. What you might have noticed, and this is going to be more important to notice after tomorrow's lesson than it is after today's lesson, but anytime you notice it, it's fantastic, really. 10 times 10 is 100. 100 times 100 is 10,000. 1,000 times 1,000 is a million. So when I'm converting between lengths, I've got 10, 100, 1,000. Those ones you have to learn. The area one, I just have to square these, and that will give me the conversions for those. So what I'm going to be asking you to do next, so that's kind of the understanding between units of areas. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to give you ask you to do the worksheet on Share My Homework, which is converting between these different areas. Okay, so I might give you a question in millimetres squared and I want the answer in centimetres squared, that kind of thing. Remembering if I want to turn from millimetres squared to metres squared, I divide by 100, then I divide by 10,000. Okay, so you just have to, or if I'm going the other way, metres squared into millimetres squared, I times by 10,000 and then I times by 100. Okay, which you'll find will be in the million. Ooh. Wouldn't you know? Okay, so have a go at that. Drop me any messages if you're stuck on any of that kind of stuff. And then tomorrow we're going to be doing converting between converting between volumes. So I want you to have a think about what you predict is going to happen with these numbers for my grids for volume. Okay, right. I hope you're all still well. Hope you're looking after yourself. Send me the worksheet that you do. You can either do it online on the computer if you can manage it that way. If not, write the answers in your book or on a bit of paper or somewhere. Take a photo and send it to me. Okay, just want to make sure that you're working. Bye bye.